through the open system where, realistically, some good names to take, but 2 BO1s, you know, to get through into the closed qualifier, that is pretty quick. That is pretty quick. You only need a lucky side of the bracket once, you know, and then maybe one decent map, and all of a sudden you're in the closed qualifier. So it is a bit wild. But we're into the action here. We're going to see whether Hesta can put their money where their mouth is, of course, here on Anubis.
Let's see. I do not know what to expect, but I'm anticipating something a little wild, a little wacky. Let's see if we can get that. GamerLegion at the same time also could come into this and just dominate, right? We know they have that ability themselves.
Yes, absolutely. First kill does go the way of the CT side. Mirage going to take that first kill. They will still manage to get the bomb down here, though, on the GamerLegion side of things. Slend watching the backside. Does get Julie down, so pretty hefty advantage here for Hesta. Control towards Dark. Flash is really quite good. ZCR fully blinded up for the entirety of that flash duration. Towson gets 2. Is it going to be enough? There is no kit here. Smoke is down. PR has to take 1. Maybe got to try and get that player off the bomb onto the Julies. Can't quite find the head, and it's the full 10-second hold. That's so unfortunate. Even gets the kill with the Glock. The Julie's not a bad idea, but there's only like 3 bullets left in them, so he couldn't spray down. And that is a bit frustrating for GamerLegion. Showing us their level, though, as they very nearly clutched that one up 2v5.
Yeah, honestly, it's so unfortunate there for PR, but a good start for Hesta. Some nice kills, right? I think in 2 separate occasions, the opening kill and then the one on towards Slend as well as he's holding for flanks, they just do a good job of isolating a fight and then capitalizing upon that space. So, yeah, really, really well done. A 1-0 start for a team that we don't know what to expect, but at the same time, we know should have some pretty impressive rounds up their sleeve, whether it's just naturally quite puggy and they're happy to sort of fight. That can make tier 1 teams feel uncomfortable. Let's see, Red following towards mid, jumping on the corner there is a little risky. Smoke will come down, Molotov behind it. Frontales wants to play up close. Now, he's the guy that I'm keeping my eye on with a 1.67 rating and 100 out of 100 firepower. That's big shoes to try and fill to impress me. And it's a good start. He catches NTR backtracking.
Yeah, it could be a little interesting. First kill comes in. Slow group up here outside of the A-bomb site. Sort of a knowledge check. Try and test the water over there. Unfortunately, the replenishment smoke will scare them off for now. They still want to go A, I think, but just have to be careful that they're not getting flanked out, which may well be the case. Some boys down in Dark. Giving it a bit of a look, but not going to go fully extending. So it will be back to A for the time being. 3 players ready to go here. Execute over the top. Looks decent from GamerLegion. The flash is nice. Gets them the space to work their way out. But they've got so many players to get through here. Mukosh caught out in the open. So actually a 2 versus 2. But as you see, there's not really much scaling into the bomb site itself. The HP bar is going to be the difference here. And they will just about get that one on the board there. CT side not looking too bad so far for Hesta.
Wow. Okay. This is interesting in the early part. Hesta looking really good. And, you know, another round where they just play off the back of trades. It's simple. It's effective. There's no complaints from me about it. It's that fundamental style of Counter-Strike that is replicable. And that's all you want to see from Hesta. So for GamerLegion, no bomb plan in that round will mean no buy into this one. Just a couple of upgraded pistols. And that is about it. So a decent opportunity for Hesta to now build up at least a little bit of an early repertoire here. I like what I see. GamerLegion being pressured in the early part of this round. Swing from Frontales. Damage on towards Slend. He's just trying to play around with the timing here. Molotov could actually come a little late. PR will get in front of this, but up close, Frontales gets caught. You just didn't expect PR that close.
Yeah, I think GamerLegion know that they're knocking on the door, getting pretty close to a lot of these rounds. They can keep the pressure on. Constant half-buys, constant spends coming in. This one not panning out as well, but still a lot of damage. Still an opportunity to take some guns away. Ooh, a nice sneaky spot from Towson down below. He will be traded out. ZTR falls pretty quickly as well. I think they'll take that, though. You know, minimal investment, 2 kills.
Yeah.
The economy's not really having a chance here from Hesta to settle down.
Yeah, also, it's just one of those where for GamerLegion, any kills that you get in that sort of round are actually nice for the confidence, but you're not, like you said, not expecting all too much. It's this round, though, we come back in a full buy in response. It has to go well for GamerLegion. You let this one slip, and that's where Hesta can really build up a strong CT side on what is statistically the most T-sided map in the pool thus far. Well, it's the time that they really need to try. Nice nade. A Slend just takes 50 damage and another as well. Oh, that's so rough for Slend. 2 perfect nades right on him. And he didn't move off to the first one, and he does not live to tell the tale of the second.
Not the best. Good start for Hesta. A little bit more chip damage done as well, so GamerLegion immediately out of the gate going to have their work cut out. Rez will manage to find the frag onto Mukos. So it's a sound response. 4 versus 4, minute left on the clock, and, you know, Hesta left guessing. It's not like it's a full commit down mid or anything of the sort.
Dawson trying to make a little move here as well. Smoke to give them room in towards the B site. Mirage is here. And the smoke down front main, perfectly timed. Decision of do we go through or do we have to wait? And now we have to wait. That's awkward. Now Torsten's got to do a lot of heavy lifting. As Frontalis finds one through the smoke. This round feels like it's falling apart for GamerLegion. They don't have the numbers. The bomb will be planted. Maybe not. Molotov says otherwise. Frontalis also says otherwise too. This round is crumbling at the seams for the 2 versus 2. Now 1. And it's all on to Slaxy Jesse's on the flank. He does deny the bomb. Look at the time. 13 seconds. Rez has got to go. Time slipping away. He's got to swing in towards E-Box. It's an awkward fight. And one he loses. Hesta. How have they made that one stick?
Damn. This is getting spicy already, I have to say. I mean, the start is pretty damn solid. Hesta getting close to dropping a couple of the early rounds, but as they've started to speed up, GamerLegion, again, got to match the pace, got to match the confidence. We're seeing those wide swings, those aggressive peaks. The very fine line between bravery and stupidity here from Hesta, but at the moment it is working out quite nicely, and they're able to force that econ down of GamerLegion really, really well here. So I think that the subsequent rounds, Hesta have got a lot of control. If they can deny bomb plants away as they are at the moment, this gets very scary.
Ants sort of got the right idea as he was playing around E-Box. Rez, this is an awkward one. Yeah, one he doesn't win. Rentala's on the AWP. Scriv, I'm excited. I want to see what that 96 AWPing sniping stat looks like. It's already good for the first, gets the pistol. Not good for Mirage, who gets caught by PR on the drive-by. He'll also get caught himself, and down goes Ants.
Plant comes in. 3 versus 3, recovered guns here for GamerLegion. Would be a big one to steal in the sense of it being their first, but also the investment. The spin around not quite there from ZTR. It's all going to be on Torsen. Catches the first. I think he's heard at least one set of footsteps, if not both, but they find him through the smoke, and Hesta will get yet another round. 5 in a row now.
What are we witnessing? Is this about to be one of the biggest upsets we've seen in a while? And especially in particular, we know this is Hesta's map pick, but the way in which they're playing, you can see this synergy there. You can see there's a really decent team dynamic, and for GamerLegion at the very least, they are struggling to put them to bed. We have no idea what this Hesta side can offer up, but what we're seeing so far and what they are offering up is actually really solid. So, I like what I see. In the other games as well, 2 out of the 3 have concluded from that opening sort of bracket. Falcons did beat TNL, but it required overtime on Mirage to do it, 16-13. And BC Game of upset, big there, 13-11 win in map number 2 of Ancient. So, one upset, one expected result in terms of the win, but maybe not in the fashion of the win. Ants pushes water, and Torsen gets caught, and ZTR wasn't close enough to effectively trade. And now he's got to try and fight behind a Molotov, which he can't. I like this from Hesta. The teamwork looks great.
Yeah, they are certainly looking pretty good here. GamerLegion, not quite as simple as they perhaps first thought. Interesting kind of moves, though, from Hesta. They've got an incorrect read here, is not fully abandoning the B-bomb site, but the site itself is pretty open. They seem to think that, you know, mid is going to be the course of play. Not really the case. Couple flanks in the past few rounds have gone quite well, so this time around, oh, it is being watched. Slaxajez, keen shot, 17-year-old prodigy here. Oh, he gets another. That's so insane. Holy hell, he is quick. ZTR left in the clutch. They line up for him, and Slaxajez is low. This would be a hell of a thing if he could pull it off after those first 2 kills. He's going to get straight on the bomb, going in for the hold. ZTR,
no way.
You've got to try and stop him, and he nearly calls it off, nearly thinks it's a bluff, but no, he will get it done. A big clutch for GamerLegion.
Oh, for a moment, that felt a little weird. Thankfully, in the end, GamerLegion do take the round, but still, Hesta, they made them work for it. Slaxajez, he's had a nice couple of moments. He looks really crisp. 5-1 scoreline. GamerLegion have been given a little bit of a lifeline to build up on this T side, especially considering that Hesta don't have a conclusive buy. Triple MP9, Deagle and a 5-7. And this is because even though they were winning and, you know, 5 rounds in a row, they were still taking a lot of casualties to get these wins across the line. And that's where Hesta now find themselves reeling in terms of the econ. So, that's a good opportunity for GamerLegion. Let's capitalize upon this. Take a round here. You get a second, especially if you get it cleanly too. No money festering towards the next, so a third's there. You chip away the deficit very quickly. You lose this one, though, and you're left in a dark spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Things are looking good. Hesta have made another sort of wacky call. This one has a bit more logic to it, I suppose, than sort of the mid-stack of the previous round. But unfortunately, there's no one here. ZTR shooting at ghosts. Scared of his own shadow. But GamerLegion will get this one in the bag. I would imagine Hesta save. And it will be a pretty long 45 seconds here, folks. GamerLegion not really in position to fully send the hunting party out either. But at the very least, finding some consistency. As we saw in our first game, it sometimes can take a little while for teams to get comfortable here, and I think Hesta, it's a very different beast to adjust to, isn't it?
It's just, you know, slightly unorthodox, right? Is sort of the way Hesta play, but at the same time for Hesta, they're also going to start to figure out, like, you know, as much as Hesta can be exciting and new and flashy in some ways, GamerLegion have a lot of good kind of puzzle pieces that be working for them. You know, Towson is someone that I've doubted in the past, and I'll happily kind of hold my hands up and say it, but credit to him. He's actually sort of picked up this form, especially as of late, and been putting up some pretty good numbers. And that's where, as GamerLegion as a whole, they're also going to be able to put a bit of pressure on. I like the call to save there. Let's just go with this buy back in towards the next. We did a bit of a gamble, doesn't work out. We can go for it again. And now we've got this round coming through where it's sort of that position of win or lose, doesn't matter. We buy in towards the next and we're chilling.
Indeed. Feels pretty simple. Making some money would be nice. Threatening the round would be nice. I think that's one of the things that GamerLegion have done quite well. Yes, it went 5-0, but I'd say a solid 3 of those rounds they could have won. You know, really, really, really close. So, from a mental perspective, it just means you've had no downtime, no time to chill and brush things off. Hesta, unfortunately, not quite as solid in their return rounds, as it were. GamerLegion looking for the 3 in a row. Looking to close this gap and hopefully keep Hesta on 5. I think any more than this out of your CT side is a really strong scoreline, actually.
Agreed. Even still, under a minute now. We start moving our way forward. 5-7. Had a nice effort. Not to be there, Towson. We'll get that first. MP9. Go for the first. Maybe a second. He gets him close. That's always awkward. Especially now on AWP as well, under pressure. Uh-oh, and to a double. This round's falling apart. It's a triple MP9 buy, and it might just be converted.
Man, they are deadly. Hesta showing why they do indeed deserve to be in this qualifier at the very least, giving GamerLegion a good, solid run. Not over just yet in this round. 2 towards main, 1 from Temple. Might go unchecked here, unfortunately. The 2 main players have died, but Frontales comes round, the keen headshot on the second. And there he is, the stats god. Finds himself the 1 versus 2 in the perfect timing.
And an AWP. And an AWP.
It's
Just
magic.
The cherry on top, isn't it?
Keep your eyes on these players, bro. They are looking pretty damn hot right now.
Yeah, I might have to do a little deep dive. Who are Hesta? Because at the moment, they're putting arguably the #1 or #2 team on this side of the bracket under a hell of a lot of pressure. 6 rounds on the CT side is not bad. We know this is Hesta's map pick, and they've got a very keen win over Anubis Jr., who are an incredibly solid side, but my oh my, this team look really interesting right now. Some of the CS they're playing it's fun to watch. You know, they've got individuals who really are shining. Of course, now there's an AWP for Frontales to work with as well. I once again get a little excited. I want to see what this guy can offer up. He so far been so good as we saw him towards that clutch. He's gone above that smoke. I love this angle. It very often gets overlooked. So a decent chance for him. There it is.
Ooh, nice find. Frontales keeps himself on the kill feed. Flash comes through towards Dark here. The 2-man push will be enough to take ZCR down. A catch through the smoke. I mean, Rez is going to be absolutely fuming at that one. Felt like he had himself a workable position for the round. 5v3 recoverable. 2v5 not so much. PR's trying. Does get 1, but the dink lands, and I think that will start to seal this one in. So Hesta looking at 7, unless it goes disastrously wrong.
PR. He's just reeling back, tail between his legs. He's sort of given up the ghost on this one and said, sure, let's get out of here. But is there going to be a little hunt by Hesta? I mean, I would probably hope they don't hunt. They don't really have the long-term funds themselves to be kind of risking that. So, personally, I would say no. But, either way, a 7th for Hesta. A wild spot for them, and GamerLegion are getting owned. There's no 2 ways about it. This is a side that are just like uber crisp at the moment. They're pretty funny to watch. This is a really, really spicy display. So 7 puts up. That guarantees the lead at the half, and there could even be more behind this. Yes, we're going to have a buyout for GamerLegion, sure, but long-term money gone again. So if they lose this, we could actually talk about Hesta getting somewhere in the region of 9, maybe even 10 rounds.
It's pretty mad. Pretty mad to think. You know. Again, this is the thing. They've been training all week long on Anubis, you know? Maybe, right? They've obviously picked into this for a reason. Nuke, as you said, coming up as that next is a really solid barometer.
Yeah.
For where Hesta will be at as a team. But Anubis does hand itself to a lot of like timing peaks, aggressive moves. You can just work the angles, and I think that is exactly what Hesta are doing at the moment. Rez has opened into this one though now, so for the first time in what feels like an age, GamerLegion are actually in the ascendancy.
Flashbang being set up here. Rez could be in a little bit of trouble. Flashes a banger. Oh, but he gets away with 3. They just don't clear the angle. That is so rough. You hate to see it. The idea was so nice by Hesta, but they overlook the closest angle.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a whoopsie, I suppose, in a way, and that's going to be some of that mixy oversight. Rez looking for the ace. Oh! He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. Lovely stuff from Rez. Yeah, it's not gonna happen, is it? Let's be honest.
I love the confidence, though. I love that.
It's probably just more of a jump scare than anything, you know? I don't know that he'd Really calculated him being there. But look, this is the thing as well, right? Like, it's very heavy risk reward from Hesta in a lot of these situations. We see like the full B stack with the MP9s, kind of see it 2 rounds in a row, and the second time it does work for them. But in that round, the idea is they're sending 4 mid, at least 3 getting aggressive, 1 flashing. So it's like, who does that? You know what I mean? Like in the middle of a round as well.
Yeah.
So if it had worked, we'd been like, what the hell? But it didn't work, and you see what happens when it goes wrong. It costs them everything. So Rez is now on a heater, looking to take over the game. AK the difference. He does, however, have the main players to deal with, and it's not going to happen for him on 9 HP. So still an advantage, but ZTR's got the position now.
He's starting to wrap, so might be able to get a bit of a drop. But he needs this split to work to facilitate these main players to get out. And he's not being held for. Mirage should be dead here, and he is. Down he goes, and now it's all down to one E-Box player to stop this initial push coming in. He might just try and buy a little bit of time, honestly, for the rotation to come through. You two will come out, Mama swing, the flashbang is good, and he will get one. Looks for a second damage dealt. Uh-oh, oh
God.
No, Slacks and Jez flank the flank.
It's just a mess. It's just a mess on B, to be honest. But yeah, he did. He came out of nowhere. Caught the player that was catching them off guard. I don't know. It has gone a little bit into the chaos. And this is the problem, unfortunately, when you come into a game like this. You and I have seen it 100 million times when you're up against these mixers, these lower level teams that just play maybe individually at a high level, but like as a team, not so much. And GamerLegion are getting caught in that brawl, you know, down in the mud, not really able to outsmart or outgame. But it's the old classic, innit? And I think this is a really, really good time to pull this one out. A little bit cliched, but the best swordsman in the world doesn't have to be scared of the second best swordsman in the world, but the complete novice, right? That just does whatever he wants, things that don't make sense, things that could even be life-threatening. Yeah. And I think that that is what we're getting a little bit here from Hesta, but it is working at the moment. We'll see whether it flips onto the next map or the next half, but it's a very, very interesting case of trying to deal with these lower-level teams.
Yeah, that's it. Frontalis will catch Slend. That head-to-head's been going very much one way. Slend 3 and 9. Frontalis 11 and 5. Towson, though, not more cuss. He looks for another, but he gets caught. Slacks a Jez. This kid's looking crisp. His 14th kill of this half. And has to have the chance at a 9-3 here in the 3 versus 3. Abaraji moves back over towards Heaven. Rez tries to sneak his way forward, but Abaraji checks it in time. Numbers advantage. As they're trying to head towards A, and they might actually have to pull back towards B, but Frontales is there.
Could get a little bit weird. Frontales does hear them coming, I believe. Smoke goes down. He is very, very ready. Scope will be heard. He knows his angles. A little too easy. There wasn't a lot of time. He's going to try and go for it again onto the USP, and even finds it with the USP. Wonderful stuff here, as it's just not going right for GamerLegion. They cannot catch a break. A few rounds working against them. They only come away with 3 on the T side. Not good enough, but anything can change into this second half. Stick with us. It's about to get interesting.
Welcome back. There's one question that we've been asking, and it's, who the hell are Hesta? And so far, those questions are being answered with a dominant display. A 9-3 half out from Hesta on their map pick is something special, to say the least. I'm loving what I see from them. And GamerLegion are left reeling. They have to win the pistol here, Scrove.
Yeah, it goes without saying. I think they need a massive bounce back for sure. Slend playing the information game. PR not knocked. Finds the first. Trapped in the second. Confident for it. Not dropping back at the moment. Meanwhile, the rest of the attack will come in towards the B-bomb site. All the kills go in the way of GamerLegion, however. Headshots just not quite landing. PR never dies. Finds himself a big 3K. So, exactly what the doctor ordered. Super simple. Super easy stuff there for GamerLegion. Only losing the one, denying the bomb plant as well is a pretty big deal. So that's going to buy them some time.
Yeah, they needed that, I think, is the main thing. So, first attack pause will be called by Hesta, as they want to figure out what's going on, what's going wrong. And, you know, so far, they're not in a, a dicey spot by any means, but I think they'll probably know, and they'll talk about this a little bit, is that if we had got that round, we could have closed basically this map out here. But, regardless of all of that, it is Hesta who probably deciding, do we actually want to force buy into this? And I think, personally, that wouldn't be the right call here. Low buy here, full buy in towards the next, and then you can start, utilizing the AKs and just allow sort of the MP9s, the FAMASs to do whatever in towards this one. If you get a bomb plant, that'll be nice, but nothing to worry about too much, and that'll be the case. So, 9-4. Good for GamerLegion. Really needed, but a lot more still needed as well.
Yes, absolutely. And Hesta have just taken a timeout, so, one would imagine they're going to pull out a big round they've been working on into this rifle. But for this round, nothing happening. Just chilling. Just, again, they know their position. They're trying to be a bit annoying, playing the mind games, playing a very wide default on the Glocks. It's not really a round that they're going to win, but GamerLegion expecting an eco. Therefore, just expecting like a fast round to come their way, get it over and done with, get the rifles in. But Hesta are taking their time and drawing it out. Very, very tedious to play against.
Yeah. They're grouping up here. Even one out towards Carpet's lurking. Slend has a real opportunity of getting. A lot of kills there. He swings out and he gets one. That's good for the first. They're lining up. Julie's pulled out two, and it's a simple shutdown of mid. Bomb spilled. And Mirage also going to get caught on that flank. So they went for a nice idea of that push towards the A site in a slight split fashion, but didn't have the weaponry, didn't have the firepower for it. Wasn't to be. AK's out in towards round number 15. And this is where, I don't know, you arguably expect Hesta to be able to come back into it and really show their dominance. I mean, they were so crisp whenever they were scooping up AKs in that first half.
This is true. This is true. I mean, it can be a very, very different ball game moving on to this T side, of course. So, super interested. It's a very unique game in the way that it's unraveling here. Nice nade damage. Bullets are a little close. Unfortunately, Red's not finding any head. Flash comes in. He is no longer here. Looking to lay down some utility. Molotov in hand. Got a bit of support as well. Just round the corner, but again, is not a full commit. Rez playing well, super patient, waiting for them to cross before committing to any of that utility.
Makos, moving forward. Small bits of damage being dealt, but nothing too wild just yet. What is the play, though? ZTR is just going to sit here with a smoke in hand and get it down if he can. Good timing on that one. Smoke goes down. With respect to Hesta, might just go through this as well. ZTR might be able to pressure down. He goes. Same for PR as well. We said this might happen, Scriv, and it did.
Yes. Difficult to deal with. The quick fragging power of the Hesta side comes to fruition. The A player's just going to have to save what they have. And GamerLegion very quickly right back to square one. They needed this. They needed probably the next rifle round. But without this, I think we start to look at this map being over and, you know, a fresh start on Nuke for GamerLegion perhaps.
Yeah, I think it might just need to be a complete mental reset. You brought this up a little bit as well in the pre-show, and you said Hesta are the type of side that you sort of, you know, expect to be rushing through smokes and so unorthodox. They do exactly that. Smoke goes down with ZTR, and they do not give a damn. They go straight through it, and it's such a simple take towards that B site. Beautiful work from Hesta. Up to 10. 5 rounds ahead of GamerLegion, 3 rounds away from taking their own map pick and starting this series off so well. This Hesta side are... They're surprising because, like we said, we don't know who they are. I feel like we're pretty ear to the ground in terms of, you know, knowing kind of who these kind of players are and this, that, and the other, but I don't have a clue who these guys are. And they're playing good Counter-Strike. I'll give them that. They're crisp. They're very crisp. And GamerLegion are struggling, that's for sure. At this rate, might be a lower bracket run for them. They have gone contact out towards the B side. They didn't even flash. They just went to fight. PR, guess what? Molotov ticking him. He's in trouble here. And a fight by Slacksuggest will get that one. He does get caught by Towson. So 1v2 for Frontales. The main man that we highlight in this series. What has he got for us? Nothing.
Oh, nothing. Yeah. Thought he was maybe covered by the smoke or something, but he will get taken down. So GamerLegion answer right back. More awake in that round. In a way, it can be useful as well. They break the econ very fast. Will be a reinvestment from some of the players here on the Hesta side. So, okay. Frontales will sell. I was going to say, got to be careful not to get too disjointed here. They opt to just go for that half buy.
Okay, we got a couple of sort of upgraded pistols that can be kind of scary. But even still, GamerLegion, I feel like their confidence has been rocked a little bit. You get a little concerned. Flashbang through. ZTR gonna get caught by Slacksuggest. Spamming! Oh, by Slend! What a shot. Drive by with the Tech 9. A 2v5. We've got to save it.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. And, I mean, Hesta are really bringing this super, super gloves off kind of style that we were talking about all of the pre-game. Saw a little bit of it on that CT side, but once you get onto the T side, you know, and you're directing where the game goes, where the fights happen, it has come to an ugly head for GamerLegion in particular. And this is looking like we are, yeah, just going to have to wave goodbye to this one again. GamerLegion, false start for them as they find the return round, but what can you do? What can you do, right? You're just getting banged round corners. They're a bit quicker. They're a bit more aggressive. Even Towson getting dinked there by the M4 around the corner. He will manage to survive, but Hesta move up to 11.
Oh, timeout going to be called by GamerLegion. And this is now a really, really difficult conversation that Ash has to now try and portray. It's about, say, sort of reinstating a bit of confidence in the side and saying, we can still get back into this. And maybe on the other side as well, potentially even saying, okay, let's save the mental for Nuke and, you know, we'll do what we can here, but don't kind of work yourself too hard. Then this might just be their map and we might have to kind of call it. We'll go for that reverse sweep, but part of me feels like Hesta might have a couple of ideas when it comes towards Nuke too. Let's see. Attack ball's done. Ash has had his moment. Here we are.
Okay, let's see if it will come to any kind of a positive spin on this map entirely, not just this round, not just this half. The whole thing has been disappointing, to say the least.
For GamerLegion, it's such a rough position that they're in, honestly. How do you sort of mentally get yourself back into this? Well, only nade on towards Ants. Decent amount of damage. This is a workable buy for GamerLegion, but expectations still would favour. Had a Hesta back spot. The spam does so much damage, but PR is still alive somehow.
Oh. Ant's got to be careful. They are indeed after him. Meanwhile, over on A, it's that solo hold at the moment. Rotation will come back around. Rez is eventually going to make his way there. Ants goes down. Towson in the safe spot. He's not been smoked off. They're happy to fight him. And again, it's contact flashes. Happy to take the angles. No real execute coming in. To be fair to Hesta, it's kind of all they had left. But still, it's enough to catch GamerLegion. They're expecting a little bit more push and pull out of these rounds. And Hesta are just sending it. And it's working, right? So why change it?
That's true. And it might just be, again, one of those safe calls that for GamerLegion, you think it's not even worthwhile giving that retake a go, especially with the damage dealt towards PR. But at the same time, it's probably not even worthwhile playing anywhere near for the exits. Hence why they're so far away. And also, with the money built up over towards, you know, Slacksages in particular, he can drop over a couple with ease. So would Exits really even do that much damage? Not really. 12 for Hesta. As map number 1 is about to be concluded. It seems, unless GamerLegion can somehow dig themselves out of this hole. I don't know if it's a possibility. Hesta are just looking too damn clean. And a worrying display for sure. We have got to see if this is to be the conclusion, basically, of this GamerLegion side. How do we recover and turn things back around heading in towards map number 2, right? Because their mentals could be all over the place.
Yeah, I think it will be tough. And that's maybe part of why, you know, Ash has come in at the end here. Just to try and talk them up a little bit, but, you know, focus round per round. Don't get annoyed. Just grind it out. Try and get as close as you can. And if we end up mounting a comeback, then so be it. But this is obviously not their pick, right? And I think Hesta have clearly done some Anubis-specific work, even though it does have this flavor to it that is entirely their own. There is still a lot of little set pieces, quick executes, etc. Rez, the molly, knows what's up. He'll do a lot of damage as well as the kill. They are ready for the A hit here. Both of these defenders getting a kill apiece. Slend goes a bit too far forward. Carlson also going to go down. Awkward fight here for the FAMAS. Bukos on that last bullet, mind you, will find that kill. So looking to extend play here will be ZCR and PR. It's a fake plant. Got the A main flank coming in. PR in good time should be able to pull off the backstab here. They're not expecting him at all. Double swing towards camera. Comes in on the smoke. It's not going to work, and GamerLegion will survive.
They stay alive for now, that is. I mean, still a long old road to recovery, but you're spot on. I think, you know, all they really can say is, if we are able to pull this off, that'd be great, but kind of don't kill yourself in trying to do so, right? It's not the end of the world if we're not able to kind of get back in towards this game. So be it, right? Do whatever you can. Don't burn yourself out in trying to do so, but if we can start pulling something off, then maybe. But even still, 5 more rounds required. That's just for overtime. And has to come back into the bite. I haven't seen Frontales up on that T-side too much. He's been using the AK. But still, Slaxier's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So far, so good. Smoke down. I hate to break it open. PR was tempted with the idea as well in towards the box.
ZTR close to the action here. All right idea. Molotov goes in. I don't know that necessarily would have spread. Yeah, it doesn't. So Ants reveals himself, but is also... Oh my goodness, fellas. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How is he still alive?
So much.
Two Molotovs. Two Molotovs that both miss. 3 HEs that all hit, but just tiny little bits. That is kind of hilarious. Kills still coming in across the map. Slend will get flattened. This is looking good here for Hesta. Rez fluffs the spray down ever so slightly. Can't quite confirm the kill. He himself left on low HP as well. So, once again, game-saving retake going to be required from GamerLegion.
It's tough. We're trying to go through that smoke here, but that's a big arse. Red's going to get caught. Down goes Etiana. Same should be said for PR. 1v3 for him. Damage being dealt across all three, but best of luck. Not to be is Hesta. 13-7. They take down GamerLegion. And what a map of Counter-Strike that was in some of the weirdest and wackiest of ways. A side that we have absolutely no clue about what to expect. Impressed, right? There was some good Counter-Strike in there. So let's see what they get. The good thing is then they start on that CT side for Hesta. So statistically a very good place to start on that of Nuke being, you know, it's always historically kind of been one of the most, if not the most CT-sided map in the pool. And I'm wondering whether Hesta can build up a really good repertoire early in this map, as they did on Anubis, and make it very difficult for GamerLegion to get back into it. We'll have to wait and see, but it looks like we are just about ready to get things underway. Map number 2, and Hesta have the chance here at, well, causing quite the ruckus and quite the upset against GamerLegion, one of the highest ranked teams in this qualifier. Let's see if they got it in the locker.
Yes, indeed. Slaxajez up top. Oh, a little awkward for him. He gets drawn away. And he does manage to find one, but it's PR once again. Bit of a pistol demon on Anubis as well that will open things up nicely just to remain here. Frontales, nice finds. Down to the 2 versus 2. And this is all before the bomb has been committed. So not looking great. Julie's out from Torsen. Nice and Chris. Frontales, good for 2, but he can't get any more. Will lose his head eventually. GamerLegion, they stay cool.
Okay. Well. Good start for GamerLegion. A needed start for them. Frontales, nice couple of shots, but it wasn't enough. If he had kind of maybe had a little bit more support, even just that one player coming through main, just staying alive for sort of half a second, who knows what could have been. Still, hey, no start, and this is where GamerLegion can build up a little bit of the T-side in response, right? No buy for Hesta in the second round. They're waiting for guns into the third, so this should be a 2-0 without too much debate here. We shall see. Outside push, though. Look at this. There is a silo player that hasn't spotted them, so they have got all the way in. They've got a deep red player who is going to get caught here. So Torsen now should be on his toes. He's going to get dinged. He's going to get dropped. He should get dropped. And yeah, he will. Down he goes. There's an AK to be recovered.
All right, we'll see what they can do with this AK, I suppose. The big question. Bomb does go down quite easily. So I think with that, probably a save of the AK. Yeah, he's all the way out. In towards T-spawn, so he's hidden away in the corner. Going to be a slow finish into this one, I would imagine. We are again looking to catch a player off here. Oh, there's ZTR. That looks so funny on the X-ray, you know what I mean? When you only see a guy's head, you're like, oh yeah, he's moving up and down the ladder, but this floating demon on the X-ray just scooping up and down is pretty funny to look at.
Dallas, just the eagle. saved over for him, but we got an AK, right? That kept alive at the very least is something. I'm trying to keep some attention drawn. I don't think it's going to do anything. Yeah, nobody close enough there to go down to the bomb. So, the one casualty for GamerLegion. And for Hesta, you know, it was a throwaway round. They're not going to get too much from it. And that's that. 2-0. Hesta now back into the buy. AK-47, triple M4, and an MP9 to be brought to the table. Let's see if Hesta can respond and show how strong their rifles can be. As we saw in that map number 1, they were so clean in some of these rifle rounds. And on the CT side, they were very good at making GamerLegion's T side feel uncomfortable. So maybe a little bit more of that. Molotov would have been hurt ticking the toes of ZTR there, so they should know he's pushed outside.
Mirage is ready and waiting there. GamerLegion, though, this is, you know, maybe again where they are able to play their game or not really paying any heed at all towards Secret. ZTR will lose his life. Towson nearly loses his to the spam, so not the best start for GamerLegion. They will still manage to get down the ramp and gain some B control. Mukos is down here, still got that Secret player pretty close by that was able to assist. Towson takes him. But it is Mukos down below in dark. Could be dangerous on the MP9. Traded out quickly. PR takes his place. There's no bomb plant coming in just yet, unfortunately. So this is not a great look for GamerLegion.
No. Mentales. He could be the one to decide this. And he will. Down they go. Only the 2 casualties for Hesta. As they kickstart the CT side. First gun round well. Really decent spot now. Puts the pressure back on towards GamerLegion. They have to decide actually if they want to properly buy here. Some teams, especially, oh, I mean, I think they kind of have to actually. Rez is in that sort of double eco spot, so he has to actually go in for an investment. So it's an awkward one. Somebody's got to take a bit of a hit of a lesser buy in some regards. It looks like it's going to be ZTR. And is it just a Glock? Wow, really? Just a Glock for ZTR. Glock, half armor, and a flash. He's really been shafted in this round. It's AKs for 3 out of the 4 with Rez picking up a Galil.
Outside control comes in for GamerLegion, once again going for the cross smokes, so keeping things simple at the moment, but, you know, working around it, changing things up. They're not necessarily flying down Secret this round as they tried to in the previous. A lot of damage again comes in. Difficult to deal with. Back warehouse angle is a classically annoying one. So just, again, trying to keep things fresh and unpredictable here on the GamerLegion side. Maybe taking a leaf out of the Hesta book. Nice find from Rez. Quickly traded. Abaraju can't find anything, but the advantage looks good here for Hesta. Slim just spotting a player on the edge of the smoke. Can't take him down. You know, again, the look running out quite quickly. Toes spotted. Mukos moves in slowly. ZTR's patience will pay off. Can't go too early on the Glock. Needed those headshots. So all of a sudden, guns retrieved. Maybe a chance. Nade sees off ZTR. Slen then left in the clutch.
Not an easy one for him as well. But at the same time, Mentales is low. Up on backside. They got util that, or a flash that is, that they want to try and push him off the angle. But Mentales just hits the shot. Nice work. Really nice work. Sure, bomb plant comes down for GamerLegion, which is going to keep them afloat in quotation marks, but 2 all-star Hesta, and again showing that they can fight up against GamerLegion in some of these rounds, and this is the round that GamerLegion have to take a step back. I can't really be buying properly in towards this round. Money doesn't go too deep. So Hesta should get a third in. There's where the CT side starts sort of rocking and rolling a little bit. This is spicy. Very spicy indeed.
Nothing much panning out just yet in this round. Pretty far back from GamerLegion as they await the early utility. The odd tit for tat moment. GamerLegion, I don't know, it's very, very tough to look at. I think we've seen already they're trying to just confuse their opponents a little bit. That last round feels like quite a good example for me. This one as well, moving fast. Trying to remain unpredictable, switch up the timings as Hesta did on that first map as well. Lots of damage coming in. Nabaraju actually spins around for that second kill, I think, and a nice double spray down from him gives Hesta the lead.
Tough. Tough for sure for GamerLegion. They weren't expecting a hell of a lot there, but at the same time, would have liked a bomb plant just to really help themselves out. It will be GamerLegion responding back with their investment. This one has to stick. You lose this, and we can see Hesta go up. It's like a 5-2 scoreline, and that's where they can start building up big CT start of a big first half, as they did. You know, 9-3 was the half that they put up. The kickstart had Anubis to spam through. A lot of damage dealt both ways, but Frontalis with that ult that gets the opener.
Rukos left pretty low. So we're going to see here if GamerLegion can capitalize on the damage that they have not quite finished off yet. Spam back and forth from both teams. 1:15 on the clock. GamerLegion again. Pretty far back here. Pretty slow. What is the switch up going to be? Oh, he's made there by Slend. That gives a tiny bit of information across. Are they looking to... Yeah, I think completely silently, the one thing they have working in their favor is the fact that ZTR has made his way down below. And he's got a lot of control to work with. Ant goes in a bit too early, and he will find the business end of that AK. Carefree, not quite respecting how deep ZTR could be here. So, a nice find, a nice return, allows the bomb to go down. It's really solid B control now.
This is a tough retake for Hesta, and there's a debate of whether you actually even give this a go. And judging by the movements, it looks like they've kind of instinctively already called it. Slaxajez will just hold towards outside, but that'll be that. They're going to give up GamerLegion's sort of attempt down towards that B side, and I don't blame them too much. It is a difficult one, and even though they have belted utility, it's probably just a confidence thing. The rotates are a little far away, and they're probably just thinking to themselves, the risk versus reward here is maybe not what we want to be doing. That'll be a third and a tie back up for GamerLegion. I'm sure for them, that really helps. Getting anything out of this T side. I normally like to say, you know, 5 rounds T side on Nuke. I think you're doing pretty well. And GamerLegion are most of the way there. Just a little more needed. But that's really going to help, showing, you know, we can still fight up against these guys, and we can still sort of pug against them too. Number 7. Hesta. Of course, no issues. They go back into the reinvestment into the one casualty. So.
That is C indeed. Frontalis getting aggressive on the orb. Trying to find that first torso to pin to the back wall. Slaxajez will manage to find Slend. Frontalis gets aggressive. 5 versus 3 coming in here. So looking very, very good for the CT side on their response. Have GamerLegion got that same kind of control to work with into this round? Perhaps not.
This could be dicey. Torso if he just pokes his head. Oh, yeah, Mukos will get that shot. Nice work from him. It was just a timing play for Torso, and he had 2 different angles which he could have been caught from either. Remaining 2 going towards... Hey, Slaxajez turn around. Oh my god, Slaxajez looking the wrong way. This could be a little weird. They're both looking towards heaven. Why are we both looking towards heaven? But then, they don't clear back sight. That was slightly weird. Both CT players looking heaven. So it actually does cost 1. And another as well. Slaxajez falls. Rez, he's a quad clutch now in a 1v3. He's already got the first. It's these remaining 3 that he has no idea of where they are.
Decent chunk of time to work with. Aid comes in, catches him. He's got all the information now, but he just gets pre-fired down, unfortunately. Trying to draw them in so he could fight one at a time, but it is well played by Ants to just not really get baited with that. Just fully spams him down, fully pre-fires him down, and Hesta will take the lead. It's a nice attempt from Rez, but not quite enough. So, again, consistency kind of escaping GamerLegion here. They lose one through the smoke. That's a bit tough, but you perhaps have to pull away and pull off. Make sure that you don't lose any more players. Not quite how it goes. So what is the move here? Are we...
Oh, looks like
teching out? Looks like we might be teching out.
A little tech issue. You hate to see it, but... Well... I'm assuming now, very much so, here's a pause. No, well, actually, damage was dealt, but no, it seems okay. So, yeah. Looks like a little bit of a tech pause and a match medic required to reset, but... Either way. Hesta 4-3. GamerLegion have a bye, but at the same time... Gonna be a little weird to make this one stick. We've got a couple of Galils that have to come through, and of course for ZCR with just that Tech 9, it's not the greatest of investment. It's still a doable one if they go quick, but that in itself is a tough thing to do against Hesta. Like we said, I'm sort of happy to fight. Only a brief tech pause though, we go straight back underway, but weird spot that we're in for sure.
Okay, GamerLegion on this difficult buy. After a bit of a slowdown, it could be nice, you know, a small refresher. Let's see, there's a lot of difficulty to get through here. The utility rains in from both teams quite quickly, mind you. Only one player on the CT side, 30 seconds in, still got full utility, so definitely something to consider if you are GamerLegion. Not afraid to just go lobbing it in.
Oh, nice shot to Rez. Gonzalez. He's a little stuck here. He has support! Spot at Mirage. Uh-oh. He struggled to hit that. Sling to find another. Gonzalez is in trouble now. He's in a lot of trouble. There's no getting out of this one. Not at all. He needed Mirage to get that kill. And the fact that he doesn't is probably actually lost on the round. It is a game of fine margins, and that was incredibly fine. And 2 versus 3. Both PR and Send are both low. So it's not impossible for Hesta just yet.
This is true. This is true. One more good catch could really turn things. Ants is the one that's hidden away at the back end of the B-bomb site, right? Just playing the patience game, hoping they come his way. And they will. It's just a question of whether he can find the good timing. It's the first. Still hidden away. Here's this player in towards single. Door opens. Slend has him fully distracted here, trying to find the best angle. Spam comes in. ZCR's the one to find it, and there's just about enough time to get the defuse in. Mukos, meanwhile, unsure. Is he up? Is he down? Gotta figure out where he's at. And it does not happen for him. ZCR on the Tech 9 has just had a great round.
Yeah, that is a really, really good round coming through. Really, really fantastically played. It was feeling a little awkward there. It was feeling like there was still a bit of a chance as well, even in that 2 versus 3, just because of the damage dealt, but they play off each other incredibly well. Now we get a tied game again, but an awkward buy, in a sense, out for Hesta. Double MP9 has to be brought along the rest of that 4-buy. So a double M4 and an AWP around it, but on the flip side, there's still a Galil for PR and no AWP for Slend to work with. Molotov down towards Secret to try and at least deal a bit of damage as they crossed it, but I think the smoke might have actually extinguished it, so Torsten gets down for free.
Torsten's in a really good spot here. They have lost PR, so he has to be careful. His position is pretty tantamount for the rest of the round. It looks like he's just going to join up with the team. Frontales missing a couple of shots here. The repeak is very, very confident. He loses his head for the trouble, and I think the smart move probably is the save here. Mukos is moving round. Yeah, they're trying to retrieve the AWP. Okay, fair enough. They'll get their hands onto that, and they'll be able to back off. So, GamerLegion going to take a lead here. 5-4. Hesta have to really revisit the game plan here as it is starting to unravel.
Yeah, they're starting to look a little weak down towards that B side. I think probably, for me, I would like to see a little bit more outside presence. That seems to be where GamerLegion are finding a lot of form there, right? Down towards Secret seems to be such an easy bit of control for them to get, and in itself is, you know, a little worrying. GamerLegion up to their 5th. That, for me, is already a good T-side. And, I mean, the way they're playing, you're probably expecting at least one more, if not a couple, at the tail end of this half. They can get like a 7-5 in favor of GamerLegion, they're loving life.
Yeah. It's pretty tense. It is pretty tense, you know. We talked about Anubis. We talked about, like, getting used to the way Hesta play, etc. It feels like GamerLegion have had a decent amount of time to do that, right? As much as you should maybe need. And Hesta is still keeping things competitive. Still winning out gunfights. Ibaraju will take Towson on the edge of that smoke as it gets broken. So, advantage CTs here.
PR. Gonna play up close behind the smoke. Mirage being low. Wouldn't be that surprised if he maybe either abided by Bogdan's law or just swapped the rifle over for the MP9 and gave the rifle to someone with a little bit more HP. Look at this from Frontalis, by the way. If he looks right... he doesn't. And Rez catches him. So now they've got space down towards B. Once again, we know this is the weakness for Hesta. And it looks like it might be the case once forth. Abaraju is going to get caught in rotation. Now, Ants has to double back and try and have this control of PR, who's just drawing attention away.
Yeah, this is a really great spot. Should be able to make the difference. That's a little awkward. Takes him a second to react, but he was just, you know, counting down the seconds. Mukos will be left all alone. He was a single door player hoping to, you know, come in towards the end, and his teammates have fully distracted towards ramp, but unfortunately they cannot get past PR. GamerLegion waking up ever so slightly here, and PR even repositions to get himself the 4K, deny the AWP being saved. GamerLegion move up to 6.
Yeah, that's good. This is a good T-side now. 6 rounds, you're pretty happy. And we said this, right? As much as Anubis, obviously, is a good map, it's a puggy map. It's fundamentally a simple map. This is a real test, right? And as a whole, we know that Nuke can be the thorn in the side of a lot of teams who maybe don't have that super clear understanding just yet. It's not a map you can just walk into and make things stick. You've got to have good prep and good understanding, and at the moment, not to be. A few 5-7s picked up, which I love to see. It's from Tales' Deagle that starts things off. Well, this could be awkward, but Rez does so well for both.
Yeah, keen finds here. GamerLegion looking very, very good here as they have turned this corner, it would seem. Frontalis with the Mac 10 might be able to make a bit of money into the next round. Slaxajaz does well, gets one. But round is pretty much over. Frontalis is 100 million miles away here as well, so not really much that he could do. And as they move towards B, he's going towards A, so yeah, it is a bit of a tough finish here, but slight bit of damage coming in off the back of the eco. You can be happy with that. GamerLegion, though, they will be absolutely happy with the 7.
Yeah, that's it. Mac 10. I think there might be a rifle. There was something down there. Is that an AK? I think either an AK or a Galil. An AK. Alright, you take that. Silver linings and all the rest. Best Hesta can do at the half is 5. On the flip side, though, Hesta's T-side is where they did a lot of heavy lifting in towards map number 1. So maybe this is still just par for the course them and not too much cause for concern. But it is still a really good half out now by GamerLegion. The chance at an 8-4 is a really appetizing thought for GamerLegion off the back of that map number 1. And I think, in particular, they're reinstating a bit of confidence in themselves now. There's often. Oh, there it is. That's 7th for GamerLegion. Hesta, we do have money to buy. Thankfully, it was just a low buy in that previous. Back underway we go. Final round of the half. If Hesta can get 5, I don't think they're going to be too upset.
This is true. Try and recover things back. It was sort of the T side as well for me that looked a little scarier. As they just sent it, you know. Can you get away with that on Nuke, though, I suppose, is the question of this map. Timeout coming in from GL. trying to absolutely secure their position moving into the second half. 8-4. Get a pistol. 10-4, right? That feels very, very comfortable indeed.
Yeah.
You want to be taking Hesta down quite quickly on this map, just to prove to yourself, I think, that you can keep that favourite position. And then Mirage, right? Another scary map to take on a Puggy team.
It's true. On round of the half. 4. Back in play for Frontalis. Slen's still sort of struggling in that head-to-head, as Frontalis has definitely been winning it out. 12-5. A slow play here by GamerLegion. It seems like they're expecting a lobby crunch.
Yeah, maybe. I think they're trying to play off the fact that, you know, you take a timeout, you're expecting the opposition to also use that timeout and change things up themselves, but there's not really much that's changed from Hesta. Are they going to follow up on that utility, I suppose, is the big question. They did have an inkling of a lobby move. They would be correct. It's from the ramp. Molotov is from the CT side there, I think, and it's really, really screwed them. They get trapped. They get mowed down. It does not work there for GamerLegion. 7-5, though. Definitely a workable scoreline here from the T-side perspective. We'll see if GamerLegion can take us to a third after this second half.
Lately, I feel I can't find my feet. Pushing closer, my heart skips a beat, and now I'm falling. Deeper than a fly, I can't control it. Dark against the sky, it's not so black and white. It's like I told him. There's things that I can't fight. I just keep going. Just keep going. In my time, I've been dreaming of a space to really fill my place. I wish she'd seen what I had dreamed. Before these darker days, I thought I found my way. Quickly it fades, losing the race, closing the page. In and out, I move myself again. Time moves fast, I feel my heart beating.
So we are back. Hesta have kept things competitive here on Nuke, but GamerLegion on their pick seemed to have the upper hand. It was looking kind of dicey there in the beginning. They did have a few rounds that really did not work out, but towards the end, for the most part, they were able to get the upper hand, play those mid-rounds nicely. Individuals coming alive a bit better as well. PR in particular having a couple of very nice rounds. But now we move into the second half, and it's not like the gap is monumental. GamerLegion could certainly lose this lead quickly.
Let's see. Slen, what have you got for us? First is good. The second, not so much, as him and PR will get caught, but Towson can have one of his own as well. So at least still in a 3 versus 3 as Bomb goes down. Flank starting to progress. Oh, Mukos, that was so close there. They're going and kind of falling completely on its head, but thankfully not to be. 2 versus 3 now, and they're crunching in towards lobby. ZTR, he escapes 2 to run into another. He's trying to run away, and it's not to be. Last man of res. 1v3 for him. And highly unlikely now. Half armor, no kit, and now no head as it gets ripped off his shoulders. A 6th and a start for Hesta in towards the T side. Their T side was so scary, and there it is.
Yeah, this could be very, very worrying. Really difficult for GamerLegion to bounce back from. They're actually going to force in.
Wow, it's a big call.
It is. It really is. Because that'll give Hesta 8-7 in theory if they win this round, right? And then the follow-up rifle. We talk about this all the time. The follow-up rifle after that is never the best. You know, you're always short of a Molotov or a couple flashes or whatever it may be, right? So, or someone has to go down to an MP9, you know. Especially on Nuke, where that early utility is pretty damn important. So I'm not so sure how we feel about this one, but maybe GamerLegion can prove us wrong.
Let's see. It's a quiet start for Hesta as Mukos is just getting a little bit of information down towards B. This first fight could be very interesting if it can go favorably. Especially if an MP9 tossing going to get both. There's something through it. He couldn't get there behind it. ZTR's pistol will. The force buy might just be successful, and it is. That's a huge round for GamerLegion. They needed that so badly.
Well, there you are. There you are. I mean, if you are going to force buy, especially in those unlikely scenarios, not in the ones where you're sort of, as the name suggests, forced to do it, you have to have a game plan. You have to have some belief and confidence in yourself, and it's exactly what GamerLegion have. They too showing that they can take the gloves off, meet Hesta at their level. Really, really nice round from them.
Consistency for GamerLegion to start CT side would be lovely. Forced by, of course, in response for Hesta. They have to. They're in double eco. No 2 ways about it. It doesn't start well. PR catches Mukos as he was trying to just retreat back to lobby, and he isn't given that luxury.
Looking more towards this A side where they're going to try and crunch things round. Oh, Wabaraju, big find. Tarson has to be careful here. Off angle being played. They'll drop down. Trade is there. Return trade not quite as good, and it does work out very nicely indeed. Answers found 2 with the Deagle, in fact. PR. Oh! Dropped by Frontalas. And I mean, it is a really nice round from Hesta, you have to admit. They're totally distracting away, totally able to just work together. A couple of nice shots is all they needed, and then they work their little bit of cheeky magic, right? That push through the hut that nobody was expecting.
That's it. 8-7. Back and forth, back and forth. Of course, it has to be a forcing response for GamerLegion. This is sort of how the economic situation in CT side works. So, double M4 Scout and a double 5-7. The 5-7s in particular, for me, very scary. So, I'm expecting at least something. Rez with one of those M4s trying to play towards outside. But a second cross smoke will come down, and that can give them some control towards Secret. But there's a Secret player in itself who will try and help Rez in the matter. And also, they'll figure out soon enough there's no one actually here.
Doesn't look that way. Quite a quiet start from Hesta. Very, very quiet indeed. They're all just grouped up. Zero, map control really being taken. Early nades on towards A, but I don't think they're going to do much with them. Just got a couple players that are nearby. Digging for information. First comes in. It's after all the nades have really gone down. PR finds one. It's the M4s that we look towards here. One's dropped. One's still alive. ZTR on the backside with a pretty important kill towards the hut. He's heard some footsteps off to his right as well. A lot of damage has been done to these Hesta players. Certainly Not over just yet. No kit available is the big problem I think GamerLegion are going to have. They've got to move in a little faster than they would potentially like. Force a few more fights than they would potentially like. Scouts remaining in the hands of Slend. Not ideal, one would say. He does find a frag. ZTR's got to get this one, though. It doesn't happen for him, and they just about fend it off. 41 points of HP on those remaining two Hesta players. Not a lot at all, but it's enough.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for GamerLegion, we weren't expecting a lot in that round as a whole, but they've made it quite expensive. That, to a degree, is somewhat of a silver lining, but of course it does mean now the Hesta should take a lead. And I know for them, this means a lot on this sort of T side. Oh, early damage up towards Frotalos with that Mac 10. He gets that in towards A, but he's left limping a little bit.
Could come back. I'm not entirely sure. He's got the entire team around him. You know, and one kill onto the Mac 10 is not really too scary. But they are looking. The 5-man group up here. Molotov keeps them at bay. Ladder going to be heard. Not really expecting another 4 behind that Molotov, though, I don't think. So if they move a bit quick, they might be able to catch some exits. Not quite going to be the case here, unfortunately. Just got to be careful, however, because, you know, the bomb's not fully gone quite yet. Ant sticks around, stays cool, gets himself the 4K on the eco. And Hesta move up to 9 here. So GamerLegion, after a keen start in the first half, a decent start into this one with the reset, actually looking at the precipice of the 2-0 now. They have to be very, very careful.
GamerLegion, worrying times that they're in. We come back in towards this buy in round number 18. If GamerLegion lose this, this could basically be the beginning of the end. This could be curtains in a way. Tough predicament for them, that's for sure. Setting up for a bit of outside control. Muka's going to get out just as the smokes are pluming, so a lot of space for him. Nade breaks open the smoke, but he wasn't too far pushed forward, so not too problematic. The second one as well, he does cross in time. That's fine. He catches Torsten. Good timing on that push through the smoke as Mukos gets the entry.
Rez. Oh, lovely move. It's a good trade. He's able to live it as well. Still sticking around. Wants a few more fights. Nice and confident for it. Pretty quiet start to the game, but he has, you know, since sort of round 5 or 6 been a bit more consistent. Ooh. Timing gets the better of him there, unfortunately. 4 on 3 now as Rez goes down. Hesta back in control of the round.
Slend. Post on the angle. Very much could get one and get out here. There's the one. And there's the getting out as well. But he's just stick around for seconds. This is a big call because up on high, Slack suggests will catch him. And then almost taken back by Hesta, and PR going to dip away.
Slow roll here. 20 seconds remain for Hesta. They've got to get a move on. Single door has been heard. ZTR goes under the radar. Nearly the double spray down for him. PR going to be watched by the AWP, and down he will go. So, double digits for Hesta. Obviously a bit scary in places, but they are looking good. The econ missing now from GamerLegion. Hesta are in with a really solid chance here.
That 2-0 is looming. It really is. They should get 11th here. Basically, it's one more gun round for GamerLegion to deny being 2-0'd in their opening series, I guess you could say, but in the closed qualifier. Of course, there's a lower bracket. It's not the end of the world, but at the same time, very much a not expected result by any means. GamerLegion were the clear favourites here, and arguably the one of them and Heroic, the clear favourites in this side of the bracket. And they could be finding themselves having to do a pretty tough, all things considered, lower bracket run to get back into this. So we'll see, but I'm worried for them. A masterclass at times from Hesta, especially this T-side has looked so good. You know, they only managed to, it only needed 4 rounds, may I say, on the T-side in towards Anubis, but they were really clean rounds, the ones that they did get. So far, so good. Torsen going to play up close to a P250. Just pistols for GamerLegion. Hesta, 11th, should be there. Abaraju, he's going to be tested momentarily. The Molotov is very aptly placed. Whether he heard anything or not, it's right there to stop 2 people, and he should have that information about both.
Indeed, should being the operative word, but we'll see. Spam down doesn't really find anything. Deagle outside trying to get that first head. GamerLegion, in the sort of intensity of these past few rounds, have been a bit more forward-facing, a bit more proactive. Is that the way to play it? I suppose they will probably ask in hindsight. Time will tell. 50 seconds remain on the clock. Hesta don't have to get going quite yet, but it would be good. They started moving forwards, flush out a couple of players, and gather some information. Ants and Muskoz outside looking pretty comfortable here. They've got some good space to work with, and now I think the rest of the hit is going to come forwards. 5-7 can't quite get it done, and the bomb surely goes down soon.
Dollars catches PR. Might know about another one as well as ZTR goes down. They're still making this a bit awkward. ZTR got to be dropped, and he will. The last round of Towson, P250. There was a big ask in that one. Couple of consolation kills for GamerLegion, but that is about it. And, well, it kind of comes down to this, in a way. We're looking at an 11-8 and the buy round. That is a must-win. If GamerLegion loses, that's that.
Yeah. I mean, just got to let it sink in for a second. Looking really, really, really scary. GamerLegion going to be knocked down into that lower bracket, which is not a nice prospect. Hesta, of course, moving forwards. Could be playing Nexus or Meta's Port. And I mean, beatable teams, bro. Beatable teams. So, could be wild. Could see Hesta qualifying through in just a few hours' time. Maybe. Unless GamerLegion have got something to say about it here and now.
Outside presence once again for Hesta. Something they've been doing quite consistently and successfully too. And it's got the right idea. This angle of that Torsen's playing in is so difficult to clear, because to clear that one, you've got to leave yourself exposed to so many others as well. The bomb does cross down secret, and that's the main thing.
Just a question of whether GamerLegion are expecting this. They've got a man down below, set up very much and ready to go. Double doors blasted open. So Hesta might not be expecting that. Gives ZTR a lot of info to work with, and it cuts off the approach of the T side. 19 seconds left. Lots of noise being made. ZTR up top. It's a hard angle to beat. Goes a little early. Oh, he's definitely panicked. He has definitely made mincemeat of that. 4-on-4 now, or makes it just 3 for GamerLegion. Rez doing his best to pull them through here. Slen catches the aggression, and that could be the difference-making kill. Muskoz and Frontales, 21-8 Frontales here on his trusty orb. Can they get it done together? Flash is absolutely perfect. The trades are there. Rez with the 4K and GamerLegion with a big retake.
Yeah, that is so important for GamerLegion to stay alive and stay afloat in this one. Man alive, for a moment that felt like a really awkward spot they were in. Thankfully, not to be, and we're okay. And we can kind of breathe a little bit for GamerLegion, but, you know, bomb goes down to Hesta, and so much money left in the back pockets. They buy back in, no issues. Frontales, 21-9 for him. Young Orpa having a stunning series, no two ways about it. GamerLegion still got a lot of recovering to do in their own regard. Oh, Slen. Good night, sunshine.
Alrighty. Frontales back with a vengeance into this round, looking to close things out as quickly as possible. Moves his way in towards main. He's created a lot of space there as well for one of his teammates to get in. Rez kind of lucky to be alive. Should have been blindsided. So much damage comes in. PR could mow them all down here and now. This is a mess of a round. Wakad's left low onto the AK. PR will get it done. It's the Heaven player that's completely unexpected, but it's a damn MP9 from ZTR. So he can't really take that fight. Aboriju is going to move pretty aggressively. Makes sound, which I think ZTR has heard. Because he was on his way to flank out Heaven. Then he heard the drop.
Stepped.
Well caught by the Observer, man. That is huge. That is huge. A bit of a misstep.
Yeah.
Quite literally by ZTR.
Oh, he's repositioning. And Aboriju is sort of flanking the flank here. This is a weird round. Bomb's still got to be collected as well. 30 seconds. Aboriju, we've got to go, man. This bomb has got to be collected and gone. He's probably got a knife out run towards the A site, but ZTR's going to stick around there. Now noise is being made, so ZTR's going to know about this. Aboriju, if he doesn't have his gun out, it could be troublesome. Does he get cleared here close? Right? No, is the answer. ZTR's done so well there. He patient, waited for the opportunities to come, and it does on a silver platter. So, massively important. Thankful, I'm sure, GamerLegion in that spot. And they're getting closer to tying this one up.
Ever closer. They are battling pretty hard here to make this work. Some very, very close rounds just swinging their way. Finally, a bit of luck. You know, they had some difficulty in the past with those clutch situations, with those 50-50 situations, but now it does seem that they have had a turn for the better. Timeout coming in here from Hesta, as they will again look to go deeper into the strat book. I'm not gonna lie, they have been playing their game well, but there's probably not too many pages to said strat book. Maybe even dusted off into this here nuke, and we'll see if they've got anything left in the tank, sir.
Yeah, that is it. Well, another attack pause used, and what have Hesta got? What is the game plan, right? Like you said, it's, you know, some of the rounds have been, for the most part, quite simple, relying off these individuals. Getting a nice couple of shots, and let's see if they can here once again. Slack's just going to play up close towards single. He'll break it open. No one really behind it for now. We've got a vent player and a top hot player of PR. Torsen just going to get down. He might actually be called back up, but there's a Molotov that'll stop him from joining the group. But there's a three-man play here towards A. So GamerLegion are well equipped for this fight towards the top side.
Hesta, again, you know, maybe a little bit against their style, playing things quite slowly. It seems the talking over is to just make sure they've got the smokes down. Now, not sure if the minimap is deceiving, but it seems like an interesting kind of approach to the cross. They are a bit wider, but I don't know, it makes them very susceptible to breaks and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I would imagine there's a gap somewhere to work with as well, but either way, one player does make it across.
It's a very quiet round where we're at. "30 seconds. Has to gotta go soon."
Nice find from Rez up top. Will be helped out by PR for the double, triple kill, in fact. Ants will be the only one left all of a sudden in this clutch. 5 seconds left to get that bomb down. Not going to happen. GamerLegion move up to 11 very comfortably indeed. And Ants just kind of has to survive here. Make sure he gets this gun into the next round. Don't want your economy completely and utterly wrecked.
True.
Even then, is it maybe worth just going down to match up the rest of the team? They now have a tough decision, and it seems they are playing for the win and not the overtime here now.
I kind of respect it. It's a bold call to be making. GamerLegion have recovered well. They've come back alive in towards this game when it's mattered most, right at this tail end, and especially now, like you mentioned, with Hesta not giving up anything and not wanting to play for that overtime. That in itself should be the indicator that GamerLegion, they've put so much pressure on that there's a bit of panic there for Hesta. They might be able to just catch them napping a bit. Only damage on towards Frontales. Sacks of Jez. Only a pixel needs to be spotted there. It's going to be enough. Res PR opening 2 and a shutdown towards the top site, and they have to retreat.
Not ideal. ZCR will manage to find a kill over towards the ramp. First frag comes in from Mukos. He's going to try and create the space to get this bomb down, but PR is ready to go. GamerLegion hit 12, and Hesta cannot get over this final hurdle. Even if they do, there'll be a few more to go now for the overtime.
Let's see. This feels very unlikely. What kind of rifles can we actually even get out properly for this Hesta side? A Galil. I mean, probably what, 2 Galils, I think is probably what we're going to be working with. Maybe a couple of Mach 10s alongside it. It's not going to be a nice buy, that's for sure. GamerLegion, prime position for a map 3 here. And of course, as you can see top right, that map 3 is Mirage, which in itself is a little scary. Hesta have been pretty crisp. Mirage feels like a good map for, you know, FPL puggy players to thrive in a little bit. Let's see. Timeout concluded. Hesta, last chance here. We actually do get more rifles out than assumed. So it's Galils across the board, bar Aberaju, but the downside to the investment in towards the Galils is the fact that they now, of course, don't have a lot of util to work with.
Slow roll here, keep it simple. Cross smokes coming in, but again, trying to work around them. They're not quite perfect. They have to eyeball one. ZTR. Dangerous spot in here. Finds one. Oh, he could have got 2. He automatically swaps to the nade. Still, Torson's able to find that gap as the smokes go down. Another kill coming in. The smoke will keep them at bay. Looking good here for GamerLegion to get it over the line. Just 2 left for Hesta. Mukos trying to draw attention towards himself, but looking unlikely here. Slaxajez has managed to get himself in behind, but they have to do so much. And I think he's maybe just been spotted on the mini-map there. They both kind of spun around at the same time. Mukos will get that first, but potentially the last. And it is indeed GamerLegion to take it over 13-11. A hard-fought battle. 11-8 that was, Neo, if memory serves.
Yeah.
So really, really solid and tight comeback coming in from GamerLegion to take us to the 3rd. We've got Mirage up next.
Yeah, and Mirage has been really interesting. You know, Nuke was always expected to go the way of GamerLegion, so... and I really don't know what to expect coming in towards this one, but it's going to be considerably more simple to play for Hesta, right? Nuke is a tough map, especially on that CT side to get going. It's really, really difficult. I don't know. I don't know if I believe yet in Hesta, but I like what I saw on Anubis on what is a similarly quite puggy map. Put it that way. So there's a good chance here. They're going to start on that T side as well.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think the GamerLegion may well have just turned that corner and sort of figured them out a little bit. They were trying a few different things on their T side, being unpredictable, random bursts, random pace changes, a lot of really solid, like, team play moments of let's double swing here, let's also play them at their own game of just taking fights. Remembering as well that they do have a few solid individuals in there. Rez with some pretty big rounds, PR with some massive rounds, in fact. Okay. Frontales, though.
We're so back. We are so back.
He is just the individual that I think everyone's been talking about on the Hesta team. Mad stats coming into it. Again, it's a small sample size, 2 BO1s against a couple of teams that, you know, you've only heard of Na'Vi Jr. because they got Na'Vi in the name kind of vibe. Either way, Slend gonna find his first frag. Tolson holding well, but can't convert another. 3 versus 2. Hangs in the balance a little bit here. Slend trying to track them down. It's actually PR to find that head. And Mukos, meanwhile, Trying to pick up the pace and hightail it out of here. Not sure he's going to get away with it. He will take this fight in towards the murder hole. 2 to get through. Still happy to take even more fights. Just about going to be able to get this bomb down. But in terms of a 1 versus 3, that feels unlikely.
Mugos, he's had a nice couple of moments, but this does feel very unlikely. And now they know where he is as well. 2 of which are holding for him. And he gets dropped by ZTR. Good start for GamerLegion. A pistol round taken. Yes, a bomb goes down for Hesta, which should mean a rebuy back in for them. But, all in all, it means GamerLegion. Only 2 casualties. They kickstart things well. I don't think they're going to be too annoyed for the time being. This is where they can potentially start to build upon something, right? We know GamerLegion have got very good protocols on the CT side. We've seen it all the way at that sort of top level. Let's take a look and see. Hesta going to pop back in. We got Ana AK, Triple Galil, 1 Deagle for Frontales. And arguably the Deagle is kind of the scariest matter. Frontales and that Deagle has been insanely crisp.
It is a very good point. So keen to see what he's able to do with it. Quick move up short from Slend. But no one peeking this middle area. It's quite a safe hold from Hesta, in fact. Anti-flash being played. It's the players underneath that they are relying upon. Eventually the move forwards will come in. It's a contact flash. Slend finds one and is able to back off. So the flash is late, or the idea behind it, if it really was like a contact flash play, is maybe not the best. Either way, 4 versus 2 looking good for GamerLegion.
PR. Gonna break open that smoke. Yeah, we'll get his kill in a second behind it. Lovely work from PR. The young star showing exactly why he's living up to sort of these names and being heralded as sort of as good as he is, right? PR is a player who is of tier 1 standard, and getting this opportunity with GamerLegion, you continue to see why. Very smart move there right at the end, and shutting down Hesta's force bite. So it should be a 3-0. We've got a few upgraded pistols, nothing too major.
Oh my goodness. That is a hell of an aid coming in, and now the cleanup. Ah, not quite there. Not quite there. Frontales on his Deagle. Always looking good. Gets the catch from Palace. Actually gets that bomb plant, which I think is really what they were after. A return on investment. Frontales!
Oh,
hello, sir! The nade should take him out, surely. Alright, bit of assistance from the bullets. It's all going to be down to Ants. And a hold here from ZCR. Just going to fully commit in. Ants can't quite believe it. The nade leaves him on 6 HP. The jumping headshot as well. What is going on in that round? GamerLegion come away with it, but goodness gracious me, yeah, you can see Rez, I think, just got to let the energy out somewhere.
This is wild. It is wild. But it's, this game keeps living up to it. Say what you want, it's exciting. And that's why we watch Counter-Strike. Beautiful work. 3-0. Hesta back into the buy from Talas and the AWP. Nice couple of shots that Deagle as well. So, with the big green, you expect even more. He's boosting up, and he will find it. Slemmer's looking down on the lower angle, and Frontales gets boosted up. Nice work.
Big find. Very big find indeed. Hesta need to gain the upper hand. Need to stay hot on the heels. For the most part, they've been either ahead or very, very close to GamerLegion. Couldn't quite get it over the line on the previous map. So, they want to be breathing down the neck of GamerLegion here, and I think Bukos is doing exactly that on the edge of the smoke. PR has got to be careful and really has to time when the smoke is going to go down. So very awkward here. PR just on the edge. Muko's also not going to give him the fight. PR knows that maybe there is something up, but he will still lose his head. ZCR up close and personal finds 2. That's the bomb drop. So this gets very, very weird now.
It does. 3v3. Bomb drop, like you mentioned. Smoke down as well by ZCR. Get broken open, and ZTR is doing such a good job leading by example. Rez will step up with one of his own, and that's the round done. Hesta had a chance there, and it slips away. And a 5v3 loss for them. That is so awkward.
Nice pickup from Rez, but indeed, as you say, very, very awkward indeed. GamerLegion with a really big find there, I think, and that could set the tone for this first half massively. It was a little bit of luck required in the window, but just not the most solid clear into the apartments from them. Costs them everything, really. You know, just way too much for GamerLegion to work with. The bomb with only 2 players is risky, you know, when it's your endgame plan. Maybe you need to wait for the rest of the move to come in, the rest of those little pieces that you've set up around the map to get moving before entering into an area that it looked like, by their movement, you know, and the way they were set up of, like, you check left, I'll check right.
Yeah.
They knew there was someone potentially deep. They'd either been smoked off or heard a step or whatever. So I think you just have to wait a bit more patiently there if you are Hesta.
Okay. Well. Rez. Gonna jump down in towards bottom corner, fight around this. And PR gonna support him now from short. Mid control quite nicely taken here. Oh, Spam's not far off either. Molotov will go on high. Rez just gets out. They're hitting B quickly, but this split through short is deadly.
Okay.
Or it's not.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking likely for just a second, but ZTR holds pretty well. Bomb goes down. This could go sideways pretty fast. Oh, Slaxajez with the spam. Manages to find a keen headshot. Rez is coming in from behind on pretty good timing. Slaxajez is going to be watching for him and will get him dropped. Quick rounds, aggressive peaks, confident moves here, making all the difference. Slaxajez with a 3-piece. Little unfortunate for Slend. He wasn't quite fast enough. Oh, that is a hell of a flick. If he can pull it off here, he's got no idea where Slaxajez has gotten off to, though. He does just about have a kit, but he's not got enough time now. And Slaxajez has given him the runaround. Really well played there for the clutch. Slend hits his shots, but it does not matter in the end. Hesta will be on the board.
Yeah, honestly, credit to Slend. He makes that very expensive. So it is going to leave Hesta reeling a little bit, at the very least, heading in towards this next round. But my oh my, some nice shots without a shadow of a doubt hit there. So really, really well done by Slend, just to keep them in a uncomfortable spot. No two ways about it. We're going to buy back in, but Mirage has to pick up in towards a Deagle. He's 0-5 so far. Double Galil as well. Towards the table. And hello, what are we doing here? He is flying out and just runs straight 6 feet under. Gets caught. Dawson ticking in the flames. He's looking for more. The flashbang is so good. PR. That supporter utility was excellent. And the last man in our known quantity in towards Palace. Should be done, is done. That's an incredible hold by GamerLegion. That A-site hold was perfect.
Yeah, really nicely found. Fantastic response from GamerLegion. Hesta, though, you do have to question him a little bit. Just, you know, charging in. Wild pace switch up that's maybe not necessarily needed. You know, desperate for rounds. And GamerLegion looking much more comfortable, right? I think they're not getting caught off as often. They've got people ready and raring with nades. Much, much better from them, it is safe to say. And yeah, this gets very difficult now if you are Hesta. They're struggling to figure this one out as they have on that first and nearly on the second.
Yeah, it's a shame for them. They've quite rapidly fallen apart here, but still, see off the first. He will get traded. So will PR as he gets dropped. Nice work.
Bomb goes down. Whoa, awkward fight there for both parties. Hesta, though, proving their bread and butter of quick and aggressive. It didn't work in the previous. It does work in this round. On the low buy. B bomb site maybe a little better for it, you might argue, and GamerLegion forced to save.
Yeah, they don't really get too much of a choice. Nice work. Just a quick hit towards B. Don't pull any punches. No questions, and that'll be that. So, AWP saved is a good thing at the very least. And an AK-2 as well for GamerLegion. Especially considering money's in a little bit of a weird spot. I don't even really know if we can actually force buy around this orb. It's actually the awkward thing. But, you know, you got the other side where ZTR's just above double eco. Torsen with an AK only got 1.4k. You might see an investment of some sort get brought to the table. And yeah, here it is. Double MP9 going to be brought out and an M4 as well. I feel like they sort of had to go for that buy there just because there wasn't anything long term. Hesta, good chance then to get a third here against a slightly weaker buy. At the same time, GamerLegion, some of these rounds have just come off the back of one individual getting 2 or 3 kills. So you kind of have a feeling in the same vein that they could also pull out some heroics.
No one to meet them at middle. So GamerLegion happy to give that position up. Just a very, very difficult one to get on the end of. That nade is perfect, though. So this could really make a difference. They've just got to be aware of a compromised window, which I don't quite think they are. Lovely little move. Get 2 boosted up. I mean, he might even go for a bit more here, right? Mirage's got such a good spot that they have no idea about. Just need him to stand still so I can click on his head. Yeah, there you go. Easily done. However, the overswing maybe does reveal some locations, but it costs them a player. I'm not so sure how I feel about things here. PR hidden away at the back end of the site, though. Just too many for him to deal with. Orb shot misses. Maybe through the legs. Not quite sure, but felt like it was on. Hesta, though, that's a lovely idea. You know what I mean? It's so wild again and very... I wouldn't say risky, but it's like, what do you kind of do with it type logic. But they just need that little spark, and then everyone else feels confident to go flying in, take their peaks, take their fights. So, really nicely played.
Let's see. It's awesome. He's trying to stay alive here. He should be okay. There's a bit of a long flank being held. It looks like we're going to go towards Palace for Slaxer Jez. Had a great round. There's an orb down there too, and he might pick it up right at the tail end of this round. The only issue is he's hearing a lot of steps. No, the bomb does blow the orb away. Can he recover it? No, he can't. So, an AK save isn't the worst thing in the world. He probably was angling to pick up that orb right at the end when he knew it was safe. But, has to find that third. Chipping away the deficit quite rapidly. Low buy for GamerLegion. Should be a 4 for Hesta. Should be a 1-round game. Once again, coming back to what we were saying about Hesta, win or lose, making these games super difficult for GamerLegion and showing what the underdogs have got up their sleeves.
Towson on the AK. What can he get up to? Unfortunately, B-bomb site completely open. Feels like that's where Hesta is moving to. It will give the game away with all the utility, but there's no one really around. PR will get towards short, quick, I guess, but, you know, you need bodies in a round like this. GamerLegion don't have the weaponry that much is evident, so you need lots of guns going off at once, right? Recovered AK in the mess. So nothing's going to happen here, and I think they will go for one of those sort of unicorn rounds. Everybody surviving, of course, protect the AK, but it's denying a bit of that kill bonus away, and
yeah,
I guess the confidence as well. You know, when you're not getting kills, you feel a bit restless.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Pete. Struggling from PR there. Not expecting a lot, but let's see. I might have a look in himself there. Actually suffocated them in a little bit, so there could be a bit of a play for a hunt. Down goes one, and the low HP of Slen. Does he really want to be risking the deagle? Not that he's going to need it in towards the next round. We'll have a buy. Trying to see now, can he get the AWP out? Technically he could if Res buys no armor. It's not obviously a risk they're going to take, so no AWP in play. But again, same thing for Hesta. We're not using the AWP in the hands of Frontales at the moment themselves. So 5-4. 1-round game. GamerLegion. This lead that they built up is pretty quickly starting to be eradicated now. And the fact that this gun round has a lot of weight behind it. Basically, if GamerLegion loses gun round, you could talk about them losing the half. And on the T-Tail to Mirage, unless that's pretty impressive for Hesta.
Feels possible here. This is, I think, one of the bigger rounds in the half for sure. GamerLegion Can't really blame the parameters, right? The lack of economy or dealing with an annoying force buy. I wouldn't usually say you can blame force buys anyway, but sometimes players and teams like to lean on it a little, that it's just a completely different game. Either way, not much coming here. Hesta do seem to have two styles at the moment. One is fast, one is slow. The fast one tends to work quite well for them. The slow feels against their DNA. They will take this mid control, but again, GamerLegion have happily given it away. It's all PR. On short will be this first man that meets resistance. They've got a lot of presence in connector as well. They're certainly ready to take the fights and try and find the timing, and there it is. So many bullets down range. Bomb has been dropped, as has most of the Hesta team. Abaraju was that apartments player, and surely not long for this world. One bullet required, and he will indeed go down, especially to a bullet straight in the brain. 6 rounds for GamerLegion.
Okay. 6 rounds. That, for them, I think you can be pretty happy in the sense of, now for GamerLegion, you've guaranteed bare minimum it's going to be a tie game at the half. The pistol rounds have been pretty smooth, as most things are, and on the flip side too, they could still even lock in a lead, and that would be huge for GamerLegion. Just give yourself a little bit of breathing room from a very difficult to play against Hesta, a side that have been awkward, to say the least. They're going to bank off in towards ramp. There is a ramp player, a little bit of damage on towards Mukos, but not a huge amount. It feels like they've got a good read, that there is a bit of an A play starting to brew here. It's 3 players and the bomb over in this direction.
Quite a bit. But again, not fully dedicating in. I don't know, man. Hesta kind of going against their own grain. They'll start to doubt themselves, and that could be problematic moving into the second half. ZTR on the spot, deciding which nade he wants to use today. It will be the smoke. It was only one player to keep at bay. Meanwhile, a really, again, risky sort of move here. The contact up short to see what they can get away with. It is being eyeballed. Ooh, but just moved off. This timing could really be everything. There's still presence on the crossfire, however. They had amended for it. Big nade damage coming in. 35 seconds left here, and the Hesta team all over the place. One up con, the rest of the team trying to join. I don't really feel too good about this, and I don't think they do either. Slaxager's the first to break the silence. A little bit of an aggressive move from PR, but at least it reveals the location. They know that the round shouldn't really be a threat. 20 seconds to get the bomb down is not enough there.
Frontales, he's had a couple of miracle moments, but this feels like it won't be one of them. What can you legitimately do with 8 seconds? Nothing. It's about saving, which he does. And he will, at least for the final 3. Had a good idea there, so spamming the smoke, but not to be. So GamerLegion guarantee that lead. We're pretty happy for them now. They can make it an 8th as well. They're in a really good spot. The pistols, like we said, have been super clean. You've seen, you know, PR, a bit of a demon on the pistols, and if he can continue having that form on that T side, that's where you basically start to hit the nails in the coffin for Hesta here. Still the same vein, right? You know, this is a GamerLegion side that have been made to work, but doing enough to pull away now. 8 damage on towards Slen. Can't hit the shot. Nade'll bank in towards window, but he's already out of there by that point. Rez is in con, playing up close, and seems like now being held for him. Molotov at his feet will be the case, but he gets out somehow.
Nice find by Torsen. GamerLegion really taking control of this game in the past few rounds. The old window cheese not working as well. They've readjusted. Don't give them the early fights. Play the crossfires, play the reads. It's quite evident that Hesta are going for a lot of mid-control and trying to work around that. So you just have to keep your eyes on those extremity areas and also finding the timings. I think Hesta, when they play things very slowly, are quite easy to read with the timings, as is the case for PR. Right on cue, drops the bomb very, very far away from the action. Slaxager remains kind of the only consistent element here for Hesta, as he will find the first kill for his team.
So, Sack suggests leading the charge. Should bank round. It shouldn't catch Rez too much. Get one here. The second flash is good, but Rez reacts in time for one of his own. Numbers kept in favor of GamerLegion and doubled down by Slend with a lovely shot. All down to one man and a bit of a slow performance from him here. And Mirage, and he's spotted out by Slend. 8-4 at the halves, not bad. GamerLegion in a good spot. We'll see if they can continue it after the break. Welcome back. Hesta find themselves on the back foot. And I've got to try and get their way back into it. It's not an easy task against GamerLegion, who currently have been looking really solid here on Mirage. 8-4 up. And their pistol rounds have looked oh so solid throughout this series. It is a big ask for Hesta. Do they have the makings to be able to pull this one off? Mukos will be dropping a smoke and getting out, and he needs Mirage to hit a couple of shots, and he can't. Mukos hits one. He's still somewhere lurking in the smoke. They can't find him.
Yeah, where the hell's this guy gone? It's confusion all over the shop. Rez, two-piece for him. Looking for the 1 versus 4 overall here. Felt like this one was kind of over. Stacked on top of each other in the corner. He now knows that. So could use that to his advantage. Certainly not going to be easy. Trying to find the crack angle and get that, you know, quick Glock headshot that we know it for. And he's brought it down to the 1v1. Got the draw. Oh, Rez! He had it in the palm of his hand. It was right there, but he couldn't hit the shot. And Hesta will take the pistol.
Oh my god, what a wild one. Just that was big enough as well, the GamerLegion pistols. And, you know, lurking in the smoke as a way to evade that T-side drawing in towards the B site. And for Hesta, that will help them on the road to recovery every day of the week. A hero AK for PR is all we've got to work with. It's Glocks alongside him. So a lot of weight on his shoulders. And it's Rez who fronts the bill for the AK too, dropping it all over. Let's see what they can get here. All it takes, really, if PR can get just one opening kill with this AK and a rifle dropped, this round then starts to become a little bit exciting. There might be some potential behind it. Yeah,
maybe, just maybe. We'll see. Mokos making noise as he moves up, but he'll get the better of ZTR, of course. No armor on the head is a bit too much to deal with. However, GamerLegion going to go where there is blood in the water. Get that AK leading the charge, and you know, it's kind of a nice move. I like the idea of send a player in, make it look like a info move or a fake or something like that, and just keep the CTs guessing. However, I think all these steps have been heard by the short players, so they'll bolster up B at least a little bit. AK just trying to work around his teammates. First one comes in. Mokos is not super healthy. Teammate gets in the way on that one. They will get the bomb down. Mokos goes straight through, of course, with that USP. They trade the bomb at the very least. A couple of kills, but if that is not sort of exactly what Hesta has been about, I don't know what is, right?
Yeah.
Just straight through the smoke. Not a care in the world to try and deny the plant in a 4v2? Like, do you really have to do that? Just let him get the plant, I guess? I don't know. Is it a negative? Is it a positive? It's just a wild play, really.
Yeah, it is. Let's call it unorthodox. Let's go with that one. And we'll leave that one up in the air. 8-6, though. GamerLegion now coming with a true buy of the road. And ZTR is going to take a little bit of a lesser investment of that UMP. And AK's alongside and full belt to util, so a good chance of responding to Hesta. We know GamerLegion have put up good T-side rounds on this map, and against pretty high caliber teams. Hesta, in theory, should be no issue, but they, of course, themselves have been causing a couple of problems. As GamerLegion have been finding out the hard way. Missmoking towards window. Sleng gonna play around it as it just looms in front of Con. They could give him a bit of room to work with here in towards top Con. Yeah, he's gonna get this control. This is good work. Has been spotted by Slaxer Jez. Torsen trying to make a move at a ramp. Timing is on a fine line here. Molotov could be perfect to clear out back a default, and it should do into the open. Down he goes. ZTR swinging. UMP can't get the second. It's a scrappy fight, but it looks good for GamerLegion.
It is certainly a mess, certainly all over the place. What the hell is the UMP doing in there? Talson with a clean find to stop the carnage, get the plant, and probably win out this round. Mokos. 1 versus 3. Knows where 1 is, but Talson is too quick. Nice and crisp there on the headshots. We'll leave 9 rounds for GamerLegion now.
For GamerLegion, good opportunity. Keep that pressure on. Frontales going straight in towards the AWP, buying immediately, but the support around him is actually going to be a little feeble. Double MP9. Double 5-7. It's doable. It's serviceable, but in the right conditions. And we're going to need a bit of a masterclass here from Frontales. He's had some lights out maps today, right? This one's been a little quieter by his standards, but opening on Mirage can be a little bit tough, and especially when, you know, you've just come off the back of T-side opening too. Let's see. Rez playing up close. Zabaraju, smoke in hand. He's waiting to time that one. Ant as well. Jiggle peeking on the corner. He's just waiting for any peek, and PR might meet him in a moment.
Both players, I think, are a bit too patient to take the fight. PR's even going to, you know, back away and just try not to give any information across at all. Really slow build-up here from GamerLegion. Mid-control coming in. We'll see what the response is. Hesta are opting to get aggressive. PR's got to be careful here, as Mokos was after him, but the MP9 is the only real option he has. I don't know. It's a weird sort of round. We got 4 on A. GamerLegion edging ever closer to B. So Hesta have got to make a move, and I think it needed to happen a bit faster than this.
Here we go. Rez waiting for that lurk play, and he'll get it. Nice work. There's the opener. Late in the round, 30 seconds on the clock as they move in. Bomb goes down. Round should be done here already. Post-spawn on B. There's still a slow rotate coming over from Ant as well. How do we even get out of market, I think, is the first question. Yes, Frontales gets that kill, but Mokos on for the flank, and he gets one. Good work. Staying alive still. Buying time to get out of market. This is becoming dicey. PR's double is huge to keep them alive here, but Frontales still causing problems, and he looks like he's getting out as well. Ant will get that kill. He comes back in, and he has got a kit. No, he hasn't, but has he got the time? He does. I'm pretty sure it's going to be right down to the wire. Frontales Frontales was already getting out of there and stuck around, and he might just get it. He will. Down to the wire. Frontales has given up on the round, but Ants had other ideas. A double with the MP9. All GamerLegion had to do was talk, and they stayed open for those fights, and it costs them that round.
That is ridiculous. By a hair, they get it. And GamerLegion will be absolutely kicking themselves. A milliseconds difference would have been double digits for them. Probably no money for Hesta. But here we are. Hesta have bought themselves a bit of a lifeline. An angry round from GamerLegion coming in as 3 will try and take the ramp here. Slacks a Jez caught out at the back of the site. Doesn't know what to do with himself. And GamerLegion showing him how the rushes can be done. Super dry. No real information given across, and GamerLegion will roll through that one. Hesta, absolutely no answer at all.
Yeah, that's a great response from GamerLegion. Just saying, if you want to do something a little bit unorthodox, if you want to fight, we will fight. We'll go head to head with you. And they do exactly that, right? I think for GamerLegion, I think part of this battle in this game is actually proving to themselves that they can kind of get down into the thick of it and, you know, slug it out in the mud a bit, right? They can brawl out against this Hesta side. They've got to prove it to themselves and regain a bit of the confidence. I think they were still shell-shocked at times off the back of map number 1, even map number 2 going close, right? It's definitely something that has caused an issue of some sort. So for GamerLegion, 3 rounds ahead now, 3 rounds away, close to the 2-1, and finally getting this series concluded in what has been one of the most awkward ones they've played in a while.
Frontales on the Deagle. We know what he can do with it. Unfortunately, not ready for Palace at all. He was so trained in on his headshot angle. Slaxajez will manage to find a double at the back end of the site, and there's still a bit of presence here at the stairs. Ants trying to gather information for the flanker. He's being watched, however. And GamerLegion, confidence at an all-time high. The speed has been picked up here, and the efficiency maximized. 11-7 as they look to take this over the line. The buy from Hesta means they've got nothing to work with now and a decision to make. You know, force buy yourselves into the defeat and hope that a miracle happens, or do you eco it out and go for 5 in a row?
This is the big choice. Looks like we're going to eco. Playing for overtime is the call for Hesta. It's a bold one, but either decision would have been bold, right? You've got to try and have a bit of self-belief. Let's go 5 in a row against GamerLegion is a big ass. Slend good only for 1, but MTR for a double. Molotov down in front as well, and he gets the support of the MAC-10. Last man spotted in towards window. And Torsen wants the cash. He can smell the money of that MAC-10 kill bonus. Oh, no! Maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh my goodness.
You
gotta be joking. Your fault that for mentioning it, you know.
I know, I really did curse.
It happens. It happens. But unfortunately, money not made doesn't really matter too much in the grand scheme, as GamerLegion will move into the series winning position. Hesta, I think it is safe to say, caught a lot of attention over the course of this series.
I wonder why.
So, well, so do I. Either way,
I've enjoyed every moment. I'll put it that way.
It's been kind of exciting. I think last map in particular was really, really cool to see, and GamerLegion playing some great Counter-Strike here, especially these past few rounds. They have just, absolutely turned the dial up to 11, not messing around. They want to get out of here. They want that next best of 3, of course. Meant to start in about 20 minutes, so, you know, they're going to need a break beforehand, I suppose. Slend with a big find here, as the final few nails of this coffin look to be hammered in. Hesta, lower bracket awaits unless they can clutch this one up around 9 smokes or whatever's going on here. It will indeed go the way of GamerLegion. They take that turn for the better in the end. Really, really well played on the T side of Mirage there, it has to be said. But overall, I think a pretty good series. And, you know, on an individual level, I'll give it to Hesta. They've got a couple of nice players in there.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, they could